What is going on, guys? I'm filming the intro a little bit into the demo ride because I didn't have the chance to do it. It all just kind of happened, but today we are at Pasco Power Sports again, and as you can see right in front of you, this is a Royal Enfield demo ride. So very excited. You know, Royal Enfield, it's one of those brands that people don't really look at, you know, for whatever reason. You know, oh, they're cheaper Triumphs, or, you know, oh, you know, the quality. But hey man, I'm down to give anything a shot, and I've already been on one today, so I can already tell you they're fun. They're light, they're fun, and you know, for the price for them, like, again, they're just fun. That's gonna be the word of today, fun.
And then you guys can follow me and she'll pick up behind you guys.
Okay.
We try to just ride like staggered formation.
Yeah.
But there's only two of us.
This thing's really tiny. Right now I'm on the Royal Enfield Scram 411. This thing's really tiny. I was not expecting it to be this tiny. It's kind of surprising how small this thing is. It's so it's so approachable. It's so, like, wow. I was expecting it to, you know, at least be just a little bigger, but just throwing your leg over it weighs nothing. This thing weighs absolutely nothing. They even got a little clock right there. That's even cool. That's wrong, I think. But yeah, this thing's it's just small. It's fun. It's not fast. Honestly, if this thing was fast, I think I'd be a little scared of it, just because of how small this thing is. It's just funny how you just get on this thing and it's just all smiles. Like, again, I was not expecting this thing to be so light. It's so funny in a way. Like, funny in a good way. This thing's just pure fun. It's just so it's just so, like, innocent, you know? This thing's just not scary. You just get on it and it's like, yep, you know what to do. But it's like this feels like if a Grom was doing an adventure bike cosplay. I mean, the Himalayan would probably be even more like that, but you know, the Scram's just a little sporty Himalayan. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't think it was this, but in a way I'm also kind of glad, because, you know, sometimes you get on a bike that you're not familiar with and you do get scared a little. Now, the more bikes I get on, the less scared I am, but it really threw me for a loop when I sat on this. I'm like, wow, this thing weighs nothing. I could imagine this as just like a backup bike, or, you know, just, hey, I don't really feel like pulling the road glide out, you know, as much as I'd never think I'd say that. You know, there's some days where it's like, I just don't want to get on the 1,000-pound motorcycle and go 8 million miles away. This thing feels great for, like, in-town commutes, especially in, like, this thing would probably do good in the city, but I'm talking, like, rural areas. Places where you do have a chance to come across dirt and stuff. Just, this feels like a great daily commute. You know, no frills, not scary. You just get on it and you have your own little mini adventure to work. Whereas, you know, you can save your big sport bike for all your friends, or you can save the big Harley for when you're trying to crush some miles. This thing, I can't imagine, like, going long distance on this. Not that I wouldn't try it, but it's just it's just a fun little bike. has some speed to it though. The gear shift is just so effortless though. The clutch is effortless. The brakes are effortless. This thing's just, again, so effortless. If you're a taller person and you find yourself like not liking the smaller bikes, try a Scram 411, or as we're soon about to find out, maybe even a Himalayan. When I'm on my Harley, I find myself like wanting everyone to look at me. In a way that comes with the bike. It demands attention. It has its own presence on the road. This thing, I don't really feel incognito in a sense because it's a pretty bike. It stands out. It's just, again, like I'm not trying to impress anyone on this. It's just enjoying it for what it is. Even me with a road glide, I look at this and I'm like, maybe it won't be so bad just to, have a second bike to put around. Like, I feel this fills the same void that a Grom would. I feel like this, I'd like this more than a Grom. It almost seems like we're lost right now in a way, and that we're just kind of exploring, Brakes a little touchy, but this is good. It's all around a good bike, especially for the price. Are you kidding me? You're not getting this because it's the most advanced bike. You're not getting this because of any specific reason. It's just a very basic bike at a great price, and I will admit the quality is pretty good. All right, Himalayan time.
I'll lead, and then they'll kind of just like fall out in order.
All right. Height feels, actually, the Himalayan feels shorter than the Scram. I don't think that's right. I don't know. I feel a little more comfortable on the Himalayan than I did the Scram. I mean, I'm now adjusted to the tall bikes, so it could be that. But Himalayan, it feels good. Again, very light considered. Like, I don't think there's another adventure bike that's as light as this. Okay, we got a little more people. We got a little more people going on this time. All right, and we're off. It's not intimidating at all compared to every adventure bike I've been on. I haven't been on all of them, so there might be an adventure bike smaller than this, but I'm fairly certain this might be the smallest adventure bike you can get. And it's just so, again, much like the Scram, so approachable, so no frills, not scary. Oh, it's a compass. I see. Okay. Yeah. Again, much like the Scram, it's just a very approachable bike. If you're in the market for an adventure bike, and like you've never been on a bike before, this is honestly pretty good. I prefer... I'd honestly tell people to start on this bike. But you got this... got pretty decent crash bar on it, though. Like, I really like this. It's... I think if I ever have any more people ask, like, hey, I'm thinking of getting into bikes, what should I start on? I think I'm going to point them in the direction of Royal Enfield, because honestly, this is fantastic. Oh, a little bump. Hello? Honestly, I think I like the Himalayan just a little more than the Scram. Again, they're the same bike, in my own opinion. They are the same exact bike, but I don't know, the Himalayan just has a little more character going on to it. It's like I don't expect anything from this, but it's putting a big old fat smile on my face, and at the end of the day, that's all I can really ask from it. Especially for this price point, brand new, $5,500. Like, man, I'm not looking for anything capable at that price range. It's just, you know, $5,500. If I can get a brand new bike like this, you know, it'd be something capable around town. Again, I probably wouldn't take this on the highway, but this is just great. This is a phenomenal bike for the price, for its size, for everything. Again, if I have any people ask me, hey, I'm thinking about getting into bikes, I'm going to point them towards Royal Enfields now. Starting out, I very much approve of the Himalayan and the Scram as beginner bikes. It's not slow. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it is a little slow, but we're already doing better than a Grom. I'm going 50. You can get used bikes for about the same price, but if you really want that brand new bike and just not have to worry about anything, and you want the satisfaction of being the first owner, again, Royal Enfield. I like this. I really do. And there are days I don't feel like backing out the 800-pound motorcycle. This would be a great substitute. This would be a great bike to have as a secondary. You know, if you're a new rider, I'd recommend this. If you're not a new rider, I'd still recommend this. Just, I know some people get caught up in the speed and wanting something bigger, wanting something they can quote-unquote grow into, you know. And I understand all that, trust me, I really do. But sometimes, just the fact that you're on a bike is satisfying enough. I really enjoy how much of a dick I look on the road glide, but sometimes none of that stuff matters. Sometimes it's just about seeing the world on two wheels, man. The less the bike distracts you from being out on the road, that's better, because it's even like my road glide, for example. A giant fairing, radio, cruise control, it's in my face, and I know what I'm riding, and I'm proud to be riding it, but I tend to get a little caught up in the bike itself, because it's like, I want people to know I'm there, you know? I want people to see that I'm on a Harley, and I want them, you know, respect, one of them biker boys. But this thing, man, I don't care if people don't... I mean, I care if they still see me, because I don't want them to hit me with their car, but like I said with the Scram, I'm not trying to impress anyone with this thing. It's just... it's simple, bare bones, no frills, not scared of it at all. I'm very confident on this thing. I feel like I could go anywhere on this, and that's part of the beauty of a simple bike, a cheap bike. As much as people love Harley for the name, as much as people love Ducati for the name, as much as people love Triumph for the name, those names come with pretty hefty price tags, and this, I feel, is a very good bike for the price. I'm not so wrapped up in the fact, oh, well, it's not a Triumph, so I don't want it, or I only ride Harleys, so, yeah, I don't want that. I have a BMW GS, I don't want that, you know? Say, oh, go f yourself. This is fantastic. I really thoroughly enjoy this. The theme I'm feeling with all of these Royal Enfields, it's not about the bike in the grand scheme. It is about the bike, because obviously that's literally what I'm doing. I'm on a Royal Enfield demo ride. But I mean it in the sense that you're enjoying the act of being on a motorcycle without being too wrapped up in the name, in the bike itself. The bike's just letting you enjoy what you're doing without having to constantly remind you every 3 seconds, oh, by the way, you know, you're on a BMW, or, oh, you know, hey, by the way, remember, you're on a Harley, gotta crank it at every stoplight, you know. Hell yeah, dude. The guy really turned around. Like I turned around just to look at us. But again, what I'm feeling with these bikes, it's not about the bike itself. It's letting you enjoy the act of being on two wheels, and I really appreciate that. It's so nice to get on a bike and not have it be so in your face, you know. This is just a fantastic bike because you're not worrying about it, you know? I feel like these aren't necessarily going against Triumph. Like they're not trying to be, oh, you know, this is Triumph but on a budget, you know? Oh, you know, don't buy a Triumph when you can get this. No, I don't feel like Royal Enfield's really doing that at all. And like the Himalayan, I feel proves that, because if they really wanted to, they could make a bike that looks like the Tiger. You know, make a giant 1200cc Himalayan. That would honestly probably be a little scary, if you ask me, but these are just small, approachable bikes that are really enjoyable. Ah, great. Like, fantastic. That's all I can really say. Got a little racks on it. That's thoughtful. That's pretty cool. Light. Very light, very approachable. This seat's a little more wide than the Himalayan and the Scram seat. Oh, you got a little heel shifter. That's... I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like heel shifting. And that's kind of a weird. All right, Meteor 350. Definitely a different kind of feel to this than, huh? Alright, Meteor 350. This thing is definitely a different kind of bike than the Scram and the Himalayan. I don't know, this just feels a little more like a more comfortable of a bike than the Scram and the Himalayan. I mean, they're all comfortable so far. This is just more relaxed. That's the word I was trying to think of. Relaxed. Like that 120 miles per hour. That's a very optimistic number to achieve, but this is just a comfortable ride. Like if you had to have a cruiser, like if you were a little bigger, but weren't tall enough for the Himalayan or the Scram, I'd consider this. This thing's just a little, you know, putt around the town. If you're brand new to riding, but you specifically want a cruiser, I'd probably tell you to get on this. It's so not scary at all. Like, it's so approachable. It's not intimidating. Like, if you really wanted a cruiser, and I know some people probably be like, "Oh, but that thing's too small. I don't want that. I want an Indian. Or I want a Harley." Oh, you're also brand new to riding, and this thing's however much this thing is. I don't know. I know the price of the Himalayan and the Scram off the top of my head because I really like those. But I can't imagine this thing's much more expensive than those bikes. Like, are you really going to drop 10 grand on a cruiser that you're going to be scared of for the first few months? Or do you want this thing? And like, literally, this is so not scary. You could build a lot of confidence on this bike because it's very nimble for a cruiser. So you can practice your leaning, you can practice everything you would on, a motorcycle, but you don't have weight fighting against you, you don't have height fighting against you, you don't have speed fighting against you. It's so approachable. It's so nice. I really appreciate Royal Enfield for making such basic bikes, such approachable bikes. Because a lot of these brands, I mean, cruisers, the American brands specifically, because that's what I know the best, they don't have approachable bikes. Like, their quote-unquote starter bikes start at near $12,000, before dealer fees and options and all the other bull-ish. And then the other brands do have starter bikes, but there's a little bit of a paywall, just a little, because for some of the brands you are paying for the name. But man, Royal Enfield really knocked it out of the park, if you ask me, with these bikes. They're so basic, they're just so solid. You can learn on this machine and have a lot of fun. And then later on down the road, if you start having to take like highways or big 4-lane industrial roads, and this can't cut it anymore, then trade it in, get something bigger. But starting out, if you have no experience on bikes at all, very solid machine. Even if you're just looking for something small around town, I was thinking about a Grom or maybe even a Honda Ruckus, but I don't know, man. These feel great. I've never been on a Grom or a Ruckus, so I can't really say that those aren't great either. But these have a little more power to them. They're a little bigger, so it's just great for the price you're paying, for what you're getting. All right, let's see what this puppy can do. Oh yeah. This thing, it's a single cylinder, so it's not the happiest. It's very vibraty. If you're not worried about the brand, like, oh, it has to say Triumph right there, I need whatever. Get this. It's cheaper. It's fine. If you buy it brand new, 3 years, unlimited mileage warranty. I'm not sponsored by Royal Enfield, trust me. I wish I was, but I'm not. So this isn't me, they're not paying me to say any of this. I just, on my own accord, I'm like, oh, Royal Enfield demo test ride, hell yeah. Let me go out there and experience these bikes. Get a Royal Enfield, dude. Do it. Learn on this bike. And then when you outgrow it, when you feel the need for something bigger, for something, with a little more power, then trade it up. Get something different. But Royal Enfield, I feel, this is a very solid bike to begin on. And then from there, increase your riding skills, grow yourself as a rider, and then from there, decide what you want to ride. There's nothing special about this. Like, I'm not blown away by it. It's not like I'm going to trade in my Road Glide for this, but genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, very solid. Very good for a beginner. If you need to get on two wheels and you don't care how you do it, get this. Affordable, approachable, nice. You know, you could get a nicer bike for cheaper, like a used bike. But then, you know, you're running into it being a used bike. You don't know what's wrong with it. You don't know what's got going on. So if you want the personal satisfaction of knowing the bike's brand new, you got a warranty behind you, honestly, just do this, man. Genuinely, this is so nice. Just a pleasant little ride through the neighborhood. And that's what I enjoy about it, because doing the same activity on my Road Glide, I'm going to get exhausted. And the Road Glide, yeah, I love my Road Glide. Trust me, I really do. It's just not... It does not fulfill the same purpose that this bike does. It's just nice. And that's all you can ask from it. It has one simple job to get you from point A to point B. Now, that's every bike, that's every vehicle. The distance between point A to point B can sometimes be not a linear path, and you have different machines for different needs. And just for around town, just for running errands, going to work, man, you can't beat this. You really can't. Really good, easygoing bikes. If you have any doubts about riding, just get on a Royal Enfield, man. Really good bikes. I'm very happy I did this. Ooh, a little bumpy. A little bit of a bumpy road, you know. This is just a nice, simple cruiser. Me, personally, I'd prefer the Himalayan over this still. But, man, very solid beginner bike if you ask me. Let's see here. Ooh, very aggressive. Oh, yeah. That's even more aggressive than the Ninja. Oh my god. Ooh, this is very aggressive. This is probably the most aggressive thing I've been on. Like, even more aggressive than the Ninja. God, this is so aggressive. I am so perched right now. This makes the Ninja 400 look like a cruiser. Like, oh my god. It's kind of fun though, honestly. Being seated like this. I can't imagine how comfortable I'd be for longer than like 15 minutes, but... You probably can't even see the bike on the GoPro. Like, that's how weird the seating position is. I mean, I guess it's really sporty though. Oh my god. It's like, I can't even tell where the brake is on this thing. Oh my god. I don't think this is for me, dude. My ankles are hurting. Like, I'm so bunched up right now. It's fun. It's fun. It's just, I don't think I can do this like all day. Like, I have a lot of respect for sport bike riders now, because, oh my god, my knees are so bent right now. My ankles are not happy. It feels like I'm about to jump out of an airplane. That's the only way I can really describe the seating position. It's like I'm just locked and loaded to just jump off of this thing at a moment's notice. God. Very aggressive. I mean, the more time I spend on it, it's like maybe I could do it, because I would be lying if I said I wasn't having fun right now. Like, this is very fun. This shifter is very crisp. It's very direct. Everything I praised the other bikes for is out of the window with this bike. This is not a beginner bike, man. I like how Royal Enfield, of all brands, can have two polar opposite bikes. It's like, we got the friendly stuff. We got the friendly stuff for the beginners. This is like, I know exactly what I want, and I don't want to pay the extra prices for the brand. This is like an honest-to-God cafe racer. You know, it's not like a sport bike with a cafe appearance package. This is the real deal. And like how my ankles and my knees are yelling at me right now. This is the real deal, man. All the other bikes I've been on have been very approachable, very forgiving, very friendly. This thing is the exact opposite. Now, I imagine if I myself can build up some more confidence on this thing, I could run laps around sport bikes all day long. That's what this bike's making me feel. Yeah, I don't know about this one, man. It's very fun. Like, I could see myself riding this once a month, maybe, just as like a switch up. But to do this every single day, man, that's some dedication. I don't think I could do it. Oh man, it's fun. This is a very fun feeling, but this is not a beginner bike. Do not get this as your first bike. Oh yeah. This thing's got some speed to it. Yeah, this is the key right here. You just lean down with it, and it's speed. Dude, this thing is not a joke. Like, I would get one for the novelty of it, but to ride this every day, I can't do it, man. It is so aggressive. Everything else, man, solid bikes. This is a solid bike. The more I ride it, the more I'm like justifying it in my head, like, yeah, I could get used to it. So, out of all the bikes I've been on, I still think I prefer the Himalayan the most, but this Continental is growing on me the more I ride it. At first I was complaining about how it felt. I was the same way with the KLR. The first time I sat on the KLR, I'm like, nah, this is not for me. But the more I rode it, the more I appreciated it, And that's me with the Continental GT. Don't take me complaining about the seating position as the bike being bad. It's not. This is solid. I love this thing, dude. It's just, I'm used to cruisers. I ride a road glide. This is the exact opposite of what a road glide is. Hell yeah. I just can't get down and just go, yeah. I started just doing like push-ups on this thing. It's like, oh, hey, I'm going to work, I am thoroughly enjoying it though. 10 out of 10, solid bike. Like, amazing. For the price, again, I sound like a broken record. I'm going to keep saying it. These are some really great machines for the price. Like, again, Royal Enfield, it's going to be on the map now. Man, I feel like a badass on this thing, though. Like, it's the same kind of feeling I have on the Road Glide, but like in a different way. I look at this thing, I know this bike looks good, man. This bike looks phenomenal, and people see it. People see the bike, man. Granted, I'm suffering tremendously because my legs are not set up for this, but man, I feel so good on this thing. I look good, and I know it. Okay, I'm just going to throw my closing thoughts out there before my GoPro dies, in case it dies before we get back. So, closing thoughts real quick. Himalayan, Scram, Meteor, solid beginner bikes. Wholeheartedly. Solid, like, secondary bikes. Continental GT. Purpose-built machine. Do not get this if you do not know what you want.